Hi, I'm John Becker here in Franklin, North Carolina, here in the United States of America. And I have a little story to tell you. A number of years ago, I had surgery on my shoulders, and it wasn't anything tissue-wise. It was just a clean out because I had a bunch of bone spurs and things like that. And that was the beginning of this little journey here. And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm 72 years old and my knees are starting to give out and I can't do the things that I normally could do, and my leg was falling asleep, and next thing you know, I woke up and I felt like I was a train wreck. So I went to the orthopedics and got fresh MRIs and looked at all this stuff, and the doctor was really forthcoming with me, and he said, listen, I wouldn't recommend, ethically couldn't recommend that you get shoulder surgery. He said, because you have more range of motion than 95% of the people I replace shoulders for. He said, so I wouldn't touch that. And I'm thinking, well, okay, I guess I just have to deal with pain and whatever. So when it got to my knees and he looked at my knee MRIs and he goes, he said, you've always been kind of a mystery to me. He said, I don't even understand how you're standing there because you got no meniscus, no ACL, you're bone on bone. He said, it's a miracle that you can even walk. And I'm thinking, well, I can walk 2 miles at a clip, but I've kind of learned how to adjust my feet and it's flat and I don't have any kind of strange terrain to disrupt me, but I'm walking. But he said, honestly, I wouldn't recommend knee replacement surgery either, because if we replaced your knees with what you have left in there, you'd have more sustained pain than you could have ever imagined. And I thought, well, so what you're saying is I got to just up my threshold for pain and forget about a solution? And he said, basically. And I said, well, my children, we had horses for them when they were growing up, doing barrel races and, steer roping and all that. And every time they'd have an injury in their hoof or in a joint down in their feet, the vet would come out and give them some kind of a regenerative shot. And within, a couple of months, the joint was perfect. I said, why can't you do that for me? And he said, well, you can, but not in this country. And that's what started my journey, because I wanted to find out what is he talking about. And so I went to a doctor in Asheville, and she looked at me and she said, we can try prolotherapy on you. And what that is it's they take needles and they stick it in the joint and they inject you with a solution that causes super inflammation in hopes of causing your body to send the army to that particular joint of inflammation and deal with it. She said it works for a lot of people, but if it doesn't, you're probably going to have to get stem cell therapy. And she said, but let's do the prolotherapy first and see how it works. And anyway, I did that and it didn't work. And so my condition's been deteriorating, just exponentially, to the point where all of a sudden I'm waking up and I don't even want to get out of bed because my knees aren't working. I can't turn right. My back is messed up because it's pinching a nerve in my leg. And my shoulders, every time I roll over, it sounds like I have aluminum foil in them. They're popping and cracking. And I think it really started to wear on me mentally, and that's just not how I am normally. And I thought, I got to do something. So I started doing some research, and I found out that I could go all sorts of different places outside this country and get stem cell therapy, which is termed regenerative therapy. In other words, I didn't want to get the cortisone shots, which just masks the pain so that you keep injuring the joint. That to me is stupid. So I didn't want to do that. I needed to get something to regenerate and help me get back what I lost through age. I'm 72. Anyway, I started doing some research and I found places out in the Caribbean. I found places in Cancun and places down in Bogota in South America that all do this stem cell therapy. And I came across a place in Tijuana, Mexico, called Phorma Medical, and I'll have information on it in the description tab down there. I'll have all the contact information. But I got hooked up with a fellow there named Gerardo Abam. And let me tell you, this is a young man. He's 24 years old, and we We discussed stem cell therapy. I sent him my MRIs. I sent him all my medical records. He had their doctors go over all this stuff. And then we set up an appointment. And I flew down to Tijuana, and Gerardo took care of everything. I mean, I get to the airport. There was a chauffeur there to pick me up, took me to the hotel, a 5-star hotel. He was with me every step of the way, took me to meet all the doctors. I had to get a fresh MRI for my back, and he took me to that place. You know how much that MRI cost down there in Mexico? $240, and I had the results in 3 hours. The same thing here in the States, $2,200, and maybe 6 weeks later you might get it. So anyway, I went down there, and we did the MRI for my back, because that was a little bit more delicate. They had to make sure that they got into my L5 in the right way. So they have a screen, and they watch it. They can watch the needle, and they take it right to the joint. It's really pretty amazing. And I'm going to show you some of that on this video, and I'll show you how the therapy went. And they did direct injections in my shoulders, 25 million in each shoulder, 25 million in each knee, 25 million in my L5, and then 100 million in an IV for the general overall well-being of my body. They also give you what they call exosomes, which are nanoparticles, and they, seriously, if you look at this, how this all works, and you don't believe in God, there's something really wrong with you, because the order and the way all this stuff works is beyond chance. It's all planned out. But exosomes are nanoparticles, and they go to all the strange places in your body where there's inflammation and that type of stuff, and they sit there, and then they send out messages to the stem cells, and the stem cells come to these places, and stem cells become the kind of cells where the problem areas are. So if it's lungs, they become lung material. If it's heart, it regenerates heart material. This is my understanding of it. But do your own investigation. You'll see it's fascinating. But anyway, that was a great time for me. And Gerardo was in the operation room where they did the therapy, and he was watching, and he took good care of me, made sure I was taken care of, took me back to the hotel. It was awesome. The whole experience is incredible. So I'm going to kind of step out of the way here and show you some of the actual therapy that happened to me, and I hope that you really enjoy it. And like I said, in the description tab down there, there'll be information where you can contact Gerardo Abam in Tijuana and see if you can get set up to do this yourself. Let's go and watch this and see just how amazing it really was.
Hola, yo soy el doctor Francisco Cisneros. En este día vamos a invitar a John, de 73 años, para tratar de hacer una terapia celular. En este caso de John, de 73 años, con una artrosis glenumeral bilateral, una artrosis de rodillas bilateral y una espondiloartrosis, decidimos hacerle una infiltración con células madre a las articulaciones para tratar de prolongar un poco la necesidad de una cirugía. En este caso tuvimos la necesidad de utilizar el fluoroscopio como un medio de ayuda para poder localizar el disco de L5S1 y poder colocar las células madre dentro del disco de L5S1.
No, estabas cargado también.
¿Puedo hacer?
Sí.
Adelante, profesor. Me podían traer una extensión de puntas bucales, me trajeron puntas. Ahorita pudiera la siguiente mostrar las células madres, ¿no? Así como que,
Deje un poco. Ahí está.
You're going to feel another pinch on your left shoulder.
John? ¿Qué cuidado los brazos? ¿Y qué tenía el aseo? Sí.
Okay, John, we're going to put a needle on your back. Do you feel some kind of pain on your leg? Tell me, please.
Like shooting pain, okay? ¿Que se dobló o qué pasó?
Es que está. ¿La quiero bajar?
O sea, puedes chocar y luego subir.
Ajá. Ahí va. Ahí. How you feel this, John?
It's fine.
Do you have pain?
No.
Está bien. Sí, yo tengo esa. Tengo una plataforma.
Ahí es poquito más lateral. ¿No estás chocando con la circular?
Estoy chocando ahí. Ahí. Sí. Y entró. Ahí. Ah, sí, prueba. Podemos regresar a música.
Hi, I'm John Becker, and I'm from Franklin, North Carolina, in the United States, and I met Gerardo at Phorma Medical, contracted to do stem cell therapy here in Tijuana. All I can tell you is it went smooth. Everything went fine, never felt a thing, and Gerardo just arranged everything. I never had to worry about getting picked up, any movement, nothing. Everything was done, communication was perfect, and I'd highly recommend if you're thinking about doing this type of therapy, that you give Gerardo a call over there at Phorma Medical and get on it, because there's a lot of other places you could call. I know, because I did it. And nobody got me on the program like he did and his company, so I really recommend that you give him a call. And don't wait, get it done. And I'll talk to you later when I can tell you about some of the results. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Wasn't that cool? One thing that I had to do was, because of the therapy on my spine, I had to have sort of like an epidural where they inject the stem cells directly into the problem area. And so I opted to have anesthesia, which was really pretty interesting because the anesthesiologist said, this is just going to relax you for a little bit. And next thing you know, I was in happy land. I didn't feel anything. And when the procedure was over, I mean, I didn't realize that they had done my shoulders and my knees. I thought they had just done my back because the doctor was talking to me. I was awake, but I didn't feel anything. And then when it was done, they took me to a recovery room for about 25 minutes, and then we went back to a regular room. And I said to Gerardo, I said, well, when are they going to do my shoulders and my knees? And he said, well, they already did. And so he showed me the video on his phone. So it was totally painless. I mean, I didn't feel a thing, and honestly, the results. They say that you see the most of the results 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks after you have the therapy. But I had some instantaneous results where I had no more neuropathy in my feet at all. My cognizant facilities were just sharp as a razor, and it's been about 5 weeks now. And some of the things that are happening are just incredible. I'm breathing easier. I'm easier on my feet. I'm able to turn. My knees aren't dropping out from me and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about this therapy, so much so that I'm going to go back again and double up on some of it just to make sure that I'm in the right place. But I hope you enjoyed the video. And like I said, if you need some information, it'll be down there, and we'll get you hooked up with Gerardo. And hope to see you in Tijuana soon. Bye.